my blocks finished to be put into red, white, and blue. So we have all these baggies, okay, and they have the names of the block on the baggies. And I think what I want to do now is, if you look on page 32, where it talks about sewing the quilt together, I think I'm going to take 7 baggies and put the blocks into each of the 7 sections. I think that's going to be easiest for me to kind of keep my brain straight. So I'm going to take another baggie and I'm going to write section 1, and I'll make 7 baggies for all 7 sections. And now what I need is to go through here, and I will need all of the section 1 border blocks. They go in here. I need the truck. This is just how I think, guys, I'm sorry. And I need a fireworks block. This one, Freedom. The Freedom block. And I need a watermelon. And I think that's all I need for this one. And it's the watermelon with the gingham, which is, oh, I don't know. It doesn't matter, I don't guess. So I need a watermelon block. Okay. So there's section 1. There. I've got section 1 all done. And hopefully by the time I get done with this, I don't have any baggies left that have blocks in them. That's the idea. That's everything. All right. That way I know everything is sewn and done and embroidered. I have, these go on the top of the pop bottles. I may do that. They want you to hand stitch them on, and that's not really my thing, so I will see about doing these by machine. I'll just sew them on by machine every time I do a pop bottle. Now I'm ready to sew all these things together. I'm going to take the rest of these little baggies and shove them back in the box they came from and use them again. On page 32 it tells you right here, so like for this section you're going to sew together the watermelon and the yellow border block, and then you'll sew together these 2 border blocks and the Freedom block, these 2 border blocks to this block, and then this block to this block, and then sew the whole thing together. So it gives you a pretty good idea of how to stack them. You have to use a press cloth over glitter and the vinyl in the truck. You may want to press your seams open. I'm gonna play with it and let you know. All right, time to get sewing. Okay, since section 7 is just 2 pieces, I'm going to sew it together first. And if you haven't already, you want to sew that yellow border block to the flag block. If you've got points like this right here, you want to make sure that you stitch on the side with the side up to where you can see the back of the points so that you don't tip them when you stitch it all together. And this one doesn't have anything, so it'll go pretty easy. I'm just gonna put it like this and get them as straight as possible. And I'm gonna take a couple of pins. Normally I don't use pins, but these are pretty bulky. And this one, it looks like Relish Today is just a little bit bigger. On some of these seams, if you did the background quilting, you might have some drawing up of the fabric, and you may have to skimp on your seams. So just kind of be prepared for that. And what I want to do is I want to stitch so that I'm right on the tip of that star right there. Yeah, these like to shift. All right. I'm using regular white poly thread. You may want to use your back stitch on these because they are so bulky. See, I'm aiming right for the tip of that point. Let's see. Oh, that looks really good. Yeah, there's that trim line, so I'll have to trim that down when I get done. I'm gonna keep putting all these together and I'll get back with you when I'm done. I'm getting ready to stitch on the pinwheels, and I don't want to do them by hand like they say in the instructions, so I'm using a very wide zigzag stitch with a very narrow length. I'm at 4.5 millimeters for the width. I could even go up to 5, and then the length is 0.6, 0.5, something where it's not going to move a whole lot. So now I'm going to stitch these on by machine. I have the pinwheel at the top of the little straw kind of centered on there, and I'm putting it under the sewing foot. Just do a little wide zigzag to anchor it down, just a couple of stitches. I'm going to use the stiletto part of the seam ripper that my husband makes and put that down and get it in the center, and I'm going to needle up and reposition just a little bit. Get that right where I want it and stitch. Okay, and turn. Oh, that one I missed it, didn't I? I'm going to fold this over, get it under here, needle up. I want to reposition and get that point right under there. Okay. Turn. I have to do that one again. Use that stiletto. Very handy to get that in there. Okay, needle up, reposition. I'm telling you, even though I'm repositioning this, it's still going to look way better than if I was to do it by hand. Okay, and the last one, do this again. Oh, this is a lot easier than doing it by hand. Yep. And I'm going to needle up and reposition it just a little bit. Get that point in there and stitch. There we go. Let's see. Oh, missed it. Okay, do it again. Real quick on that one. Maybe I don't need my zigzag quite so wide. I'll go back down to 3.5. Perfect. Look at that. Look how cute that turned out. That's adorable. One down, 2 to go. Oh, that turned out nice. See, and look how clean it is on the back. There's no reason I have to do this by hand. I absolutely refuse, and it's much more secure than if I'd have done it by hand. Make sure that this part is not in that 1/4 inch seam allowance so that it doesn't get in the way when I go to sew a border on there. Well, the time has come to put on the borders, and I'm at a little bit of a dilemma. I am not a fan of patterns being so incredibly busy that it's hard to take it all in and see where I like a definitive border. And in that case, a lot of times I like a solid. And the fabric that is used in the sample, in the pattern, is this. And I'm just not a fan of it. I don't, it's just not something that I truly care for. It's not found anywhere else. This blue is not found anywhere else. The pattern of the fabric is in the yellow stripe right here. That's the same pattern, but it's in a yellow instead of the light blue. And I also have additional yardage. I've got this pattern right here, which is in the fireworks, and this is going to be the backing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to use this as the backing. And then I have some more of this denim look. Is that anywhere else? I thought it was in one of the blocks. Yeah, this was the background for one of the Firefly jars. I didn't realize I had more of it because I messed up the cut, and so this jar has a different blue that I pulled out of my stash. So I've got this one, and then I have this red, which is behind the Life is Sweet, and also on this chicken wire block here. And then I have this, and this is not anywhere else in the quilts either. And this has, I think this is just precious. It's got Fire Up the Grill, it has Life is Sweet, it's got the flower pots, it has everything that were, here's your watermelons, here's my Home Sweet Home. See this? And it's a tossed. And I really, really like this fabric. So what I think I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna do a border of the red. See, the red has, it's a real light print. So it's kind of a red on red. So this could be like a border that would break up all of the patterns. And then I could do this. So this is how I'm auditioning. I don't know. And I've got to make a 4-inch border to go with those borders, those star blocks that go in the corners. And I think I'm going to make it out of this. Although, because I really like this fabric and I want to include it in the quilt, although I could just do a 4-inch border of the red and not do this at all, which I kind of don't want to do. I took a piece of fabric that was 3.5 by 7.5. They said 2 pieces that were 3.5 by 4.5, but I just took one long one, folded it in half, right sides together, and then I stitched around it. And I have put some Heat and Bond Ultra, the stuff Heat and Bond Ultra Hold on this, on 3 sides. It wanted the stitch across, the stitching to be on the top, and I made the pocket the same fabric as the backing so it's not so obvious. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it and put it about halfway down here in the bottom. I don't have any of the other big embellishments on there yet except for the pop bottles, the pinwheels. So, okay, let's put this on. Give it some steam. And this will adhere my pocket. Pretty well. There we go. If it won't stick as good as I'd like, then I'll use some stitch witchery and make it permanent. Sorry for the vacuum cleaner running around. That's my Yeetie. It's been a couple of days. We hadn't been home, and the dogs have been hanging out in here with me. So now I have already punched all the holes in the block with the for the fireflies. I'd already punched all the holes in the blocks prior to putting on the backing, and so all I need to do now is find the where that's coming through. So I'm just going to take a straight pin. I could actually go front to back, probably be easier, like this. And then I'm going to cut a tiny snip in the backing, just a tiny little, like a cat's eye type snip, where that is. That's just big enough for the fairy light to get through. And then around the hole, I've got some fray stop. And I'm just going to go not on the hole, but just around it. And I'm going to wait probably about 15 minutes and let that dry. So I'm going to do that. Well, I managed to get it all over everything. That's fine. I'm going to do this for all of the little holes and make the holes in the backing for the fairy lights to come through. The ones you got to be careful of and kind of guess at are the ones that are underneath the vinyl. Ooh, it goes against my nature to cut holes in this fabric. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this until I get them all done. Okay, to make these dimensional flowers, you need to cut them in half. So unravel this, unwind, and let's see, there's a knot in one end and a string on the other. So it says fold it in half and cut it. And then you're going to need to tie a knot in this end. I'm afraid it's going to fly off the end of my knot, and then where would I be? I'm sure by the time I get to the last one, I'll be pretty good at this. There, I'll be hot gluing these on. And I'm not sewing them. You guys who know how to do these French knots and all that, God love you. The rest of us struggle. You're probably going, do it the other way, Becky. I'm supposed to have fun with this, right? Why does this have to be so hard? Why is this so hard? You guys see why I do not crochet or knit or anything like that. Okay, hold that. My little wonder clip is my extra finger. Okay. 2. This takes time. Man, let me throw something under a machine needle, please. You should see me with a glue gun. It's dangerous. I'm not savvy. I am no crafter. I hope that worked. That one was fairly painless. It'll probably, yeah, it's gonna fall apart. See, I didn't get it right. I told you the last one would be the easiest once I get the hang of it. I've got these all done. Hopefully my little holes are dry now for my fairy lights. All right, so pull this little tab off so the battery works. Okay. I'm gonna turn them on, make sure. Yeah, they work. Look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay. This goes in here, just like that. And then, where's the thing? All the way up there. Okay. I'm gonna start at the base and kind of straighten it out as I go up. One of the first things, the easiest way to do it, is to turn them on so you can see where they are. Okay, so let's see. Oh, those are cool. Crochet hook, perhaps? I don't have a crochet hook. Oh, I have one of these gizmos. And then I also have a bodkin with a clamp. So, let's see. I just want to put this hook through. This is going to be hard for the ones that are in the jar. Okay. Let me get the hook through the back. And the hole is bigger. Okay. So then, I want to take a light and kind of hook it and then pull it through. Will that work? Heck yeah, look at that. Look at that. I got batting in the way. I'm gonna have to, there we go. There. Whoa, don't put that back through. There we go. Oh, that is cute. The ones in the jar are gonna be a pickle. A pickle in a jar. Love it. Okay, so if you can do it gently, it looks like crochet hook is the way to go. You don't want to pull that wire, but yeah, that looks like that works. All right, now for the guys in the jar. Just cut this backing off and then put my lights in and then patch the backing, because this isn't fun. This is not fun at all, and I just pulled one out. All right, I've had it. I've had it. So the trick to getting them to stay where you want is to open up the wire so that it forms kind of a right and a left, and they should stay right where you want them. They shouldn't, if they're in a straight line together, they won't want to stay. But if they're in a straight line like this, they should. As soon as you get them in there. Y'all, I just do not have the patience for this. This is just really, really, really not me. So I will take the matter in hand and make it work. I'm going to make another little pocket to cover this. It'll look just fine. There, that looks great. I made another little pocket and I hot glued it on. And that's the way that's going to roll. I can't, you guys. I just can't. So I've got an extra little pocket here. I can put this extra one down in, and then this extra wire can go down in the bottom pocket. And from the front, it looks amazing. I'm sorry, y'all. I just don't have the patience for that. That's not me. Okay, next. How else can I destroy the back end of this quilt? Okay, the trick to these lights is you definitely need some kind of hook to come in from the front and pull it through. And when you get the light where you want it, don't seat it all the way. You want a little extra and just leave it until you have them all in place. Can you guys see that? I don't think I'm too close. You want little extra until you have them all in place, and then just pull them up a little bit to where they're right where you want them, and then squish the wires so they're apart and they're no longer in a straight, if you have them together, it's too easy for them to pull back out. So pull the wires right where you want them. See how like that's out? Now I'm going to push that back a little bit, and I'm going to push those wires out like that so that they're flat. And now that everything's flat, nothing's going to pull back through. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And then this is just extra. I'm just going to take this one here and just kind of twist it around itself. They're pretty hardy. And where I cut the hole, I need to glue gun my other little pocket back on here. I'm only doing it on 3 sides so it can be replaced if they burn out or whatever. There. See that? Oh my goodness, that's easier. Oh, jeez, that was frustrating. Not me, guys. Not my thing. Oh, that is so cute. Can you guys see that? See my little lights right there? And then here they are over here too. That is adorable. Just adorable. Okay. The cord is short on my glue gun. Why do they make these cords so short on these glue guns? Man, that's annoying. Y'all, I'm a mess. Oh, that is too cute. Oh, I'm gluing my finger. Need tweezers. Okay, that looks good.
No battery. Returning to charge.
Well, you go right ahead.
Off the floor.
Off the floor. Let me put you back.
Starting charging.
If you think I'm sewing these on, y'all are out of your mind. No way. Okay. My hot dog button goes on the grill right there. And my lemonade lemon slice goes down here like that. Ow! That hot glue came up through those holes and got me. And what else? The watermelon slice, where does it go? I think some of this stuff goes in the truck. So I gotta have buttons in my pinwheels. Yeah. White side in the pinwheel. Find a flat spot on this thing. So, somebody wrote me and said, or left a comment that their cat had got a hold of these little balls, and that was the end of that. Okay, good. Oh, I need buttons in my flowers here. I'm just going to put a dot in the center of the flower. Put the buttons on it. That'll work. And then 2 of the buttons that have a yellow back, you need to put or yellow side up in your white flowers. Ow! Hot! Ow! 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 Dang it! Ouch! Ow! Okay, that one was a fail. Oh my word. I'm a mess. I burned my thumb, seriously. My dog heard me hollering. She's all upset now. Man, this stuff is hot. Ooh. Seriously burned my thumb. Like I need to go put it on ice. Burned my thumb. So far, so good. I don't know what my dedication is on the banner. I'm going to have to think about it a minute. Okay, it's all finished. I did some wavy stitch from the sewing machine in the borders, just to kind of give it some quilting. Very happy with how that turned out. I still didn't do the pennant banner on the truck. I'm okay with it. Yeah. So this was a lot of fun. It was a ton of work, but it was very worth it. I think this quilt is just precious. All right. Well, thanks for joining me on this. I hope you had a great time. I hope you learned a bunch. And I am looking forward to the next Kimberbell project we can do together. We'll talk to you soon. Go sew something. Bye.